I always knew I wanted to be self-employed and run my own business. I wasn't sure what that business would be, or that someday I'd prove all the adults that said I was wasting my time playing video games wrong. I just knew I wanted to run a business. And I know there's people listening to this show right now that feel the same way. And it can be a scary thing to take on. You need a website, an online store, a logo. How do you take orders? They don't teach you all this stuff. Lucky for you, there's a company out there to help with all of it, and that's Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform of choice for millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from small startups to juggernauts like Mattel and Gymshark. Don't know how to make a website? They've got you with their ready-to-go templates that can match any brand style. Need help getting all that heavy lifting done? Shopify's AI tools can help with product images and descriptions, discount codes, and more. How do I show people my product? Yep, Shopify. They offer easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And if any of this trips you up, their award-winning 24/7 customer support is there to help you. Turn those dreams into... and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/RTG. Go to shopify.com/RTG. Shopify.com/RTG. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Remember the Game. It is my retro gaming podcast where every week a buddy of mine and I sit down and we geek out about the games we played back in the day. My name is Adam Blank. Thank you so much for listening to the show. And this week it is episode 345, and it's one of our world-renowned revisited episodes. And this is where we take another look at one of the games we covered back in the earliest days of Remember the Game, when we had even less of an idea of what we were doing than we do now. And this is one of those games that absolutely deserves more of our invaluable airtime. Of course, we're talking Super Metroid for the SNES. We originally covered this one almost 6 years ago. Back, I think it was episode 44. It was somewhere in the 40s. And it's one of the early episodes that I've wanted to revisit the most for a couple of reasons. One, because it's Super Metroid, and it's one of the most iconic games of all time. And two, not due to any fault of my original guests, my childhood friends Rob and Daniel, but that might be one of the worst episode we've ever done from an audio quality standpoint. It was the first year of the show. I had no idea how to edit or do anything. My microphones weren't as good. We recorded it when we were on the road. There was 3 of us passing 2 microphones back and forth, so the audio is just all over the place. The guys did fine, but even by my shoddy standards, that episode is a little shaky. Super Metroid, and Samus in particular, she deserves better. So it's time to revisit it this week. And Super Metroid's kind of a touchy subject around here because it's unquestionably one of the best games in one of the most iconic libraries in gaming history. But as a proud and lifelong Super Nintendo fanboy, it's one of those games I just never played growing up. You know, I had Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Mega Man, Final Fantasy. Those were all played, but Metroid slipped through the cracks. And I don't even really remember hearing a ton about Super Metroid back then. This was pre-internet, you youngins. We didn't have message boards and things back then. But everyone at school was talking sports games, or again, Mario, Sonic, Zelda. I just don't remember a lot of hype around Super Metroid. And I didn't get around to playing it until years later when I finally got it off the Virtual Console on my Wii. And then it clicked. And I was like, oh, I see. This is very good. It's hard to find a list of the best Super Nintendo games ever made and not have Super Metroid in the top 5. And if it's not in the top 5 or 6, your list kind of loses a little bit of credibility. Like, it's one of those games that's just world-renowned. It's Super Metroid, right? It's Super Metroid. I did a replay of it to get ready for this episode. Only my second or third time playing through the game, and I'm on board now. Couple of very minor gripes that you're going to hear about, but it's just a masterpiece, you know? Super Metroid can stand toe-to-toe with all the other Super Nintendo heavyweights, and depending on who you ask, it might even topple them. My guest this week feels that way. It's my buddy Dan from the Dissect That Film podcast. He's returning to the show to tell us why Super Metroid is his favorite game of all time. We get into that. We talk about the Metroid series as a whole. We talk about the iconic Super Nintendo library, and it's been about a week since we actually recorded the conversation about Super Metroid, so I don't remember what else we talked about, but I know we rambled for a good hour or so. And we're going to get to all that in just a minute, because speaking of rambling for an hour or so, it's time for another edition of the Remember the Game infamous intro. And if you're new to the show, welcome aboard. And listen, we don't ramble for an hour, but like they're long. Our intros are like half an hour, so but they're fun. We talk video games and stuff. They're a good time. And while you're listening to them, you will have an easier time wall jumping in real life than you will trying to wall jump in Super Metroid. Fucking wall jump. But seriously, yeah, our intro, it's like a half an hour. If you want to skip it, if you just want Super Metroid talk, slide to about the 30-minute mark. I recommend listening to the whole thing. We're going to talk video games and stuff. It'll be fun. Quickly, let me get my plugs in. We got bills to keep on. This is how we do it. We have a Patreon. It's a pretty good deal. Starts at $3 a month. You get tons of stuff, including this show. Remember the Game, the entire 345 episode library and new episodes, ad-free with timestamps. Skip around, do whatever you want over there. You also get access to up to 4 additional shows every week, all without ads. We drop new episodes Monday through Friday. We talk Simpsons. We talk more video games. We talk gaming news. I talk about whatever I want on the Rambling Idiot. It's a good time. You can also join our 1,000+ member Discord. You get to write into the show. You get to play one, remake one, erase one. You can vote for the games we cover. You get access instantly to the entire archive bonus episode library. And most importantly, you get a shout out and get to hear me mispronounce your name. Like I might be good this week. I might get all these. A huge thank you to our newest Patreons, George Swan, Zekram, Zelda's Master Sword, It's Yeet or Get Yeetin, Yeet, Smear the Cheese, Chris J, and Owlet. If I fucked one up, it's that last one. But thank you all so much for the support, and welcome to Remember the Game Industries. You can find all that at patreon.com/rememberthegame. There's some free episodes over there you can try out. Again, excuse me, our subscriptions start at $3 a month. We offer annual subs that'll save you your 12th month's fees, and we donate 5% of it to the Stollery Children's Hospital every year as part of our Extra Life charity stream. And most importantly, you pay my bills, which I'm very grateful for. So check that out if you're interested. We also have merch at rememberthegamepodcast.com. Shout out to my man Joe from 4545 Creative for designing it. It is awesomely outrageous. And that's enough blowing myself. Let's blow some of you by blowing in some cartridges. It is our opening segment here on the show. I read a few comments and questions from our Patreons, usually gaming related, but not always. And we call this segment Blowing in the Cartridge.
He blows all right. He blows big time.
That's it, honey. Get into the spirit.
Let's blow. Our first blower this week is Master Chief Wiggum, who said, Adam, I know you do a little bit of Lego. What's your favorite set? Mine is the Super Mario 64 question block. I do love that set. I have that. Yeah, if you don't know, I'm a bit of a Lego junkie. I keep a lot of Lego sets in my basement around my television. I do like that Mario 64 question block. I think my favorite set is probably the NES with the TV. Because you can open the NES, put the Super Mario Brothers cartridge in. There's like Easter eggs inside the NES. Plus that TV, you turn the crank on the side and it actually plays Mario Brothers on the screen. That's probably my favorite. I really like the Spider-Man Daily Bugle set as well. But probably my NES TV is my favorite. I do have the Legend of Zelda Deku Tree sitting down there waiting to be built though. And that one looks pretty rad. Disco Stew said, after listening to Remember the Game for a while now, I decided to buy the Mega Man Legacy Collection, and after starting with Mega Man 2 and listening to the order you tackle the bosses, I find this game feeding me my lunch and dinner for that matter. I've never played these before, and hearing you praise them as you do you have any other advice other than get good for a freshly minted Mega Man fan? And I will eventually beat all 6 of these games, I swear. I know it's going to sound, because you're right. And I hate when fucking someone comes to you with advice and they just tell you to get good. Fucking drives me up the goddamn wall. But that really is part of how you beat, Mega Man takes a lot of patience and it takes a lot of practice. It sucks. I know it's not fun, but that is kind of how you beat a Mega Man game, unfortunately. That being said, a little bit of advice I do have for you. Don't let the people that tell you that save states and stuff are cheating, don't let them gatekeep, all right? If you want a fucking save state, if you want to rewind fucking do it. That's how you get good at these games, all right? Like what I do when I'm trying to get better at beating a classic game, like when I figured out how to beat like Ninja Turtles on the NES and stuff like that, I did use rewinds and I did use save states just to practice and to get a feel for it. And then you can work your way through. It's not like when you were a kid and Mega Man 3 was the only game you had. So you're like, I'll just restart and fucking play it 3 trillion times till I get good enough. You know, right? We're adults now. We're fucking busy. So don't worry about that. Use your save states and your rewinds as you have to. And then if you're really enjoying the game, yeah, practice until you get good enough to beat it on the up and up because you're going to feel like a fucking boss when you do so. That would be my number one piece of advice. And then my only other piece of advice, and then of course you can look up the boss order if you want to. My other piece, which I actually wouldn't recommend. I would recommend using save states and rewinds to practice. I like the satisfaction of figuring out the like nothing is better than going into a boss with like 2 of the 8 robot master weapons and being like, I hope one's a weakness. And then when you figure out it is, you're just like, ah, shit. Feels really good. So I wouldn't. The other piece of advice I do have, though, is when you go into a boss room to fight a robot master, if you're really low on health, as long as you still have an extra life left in the tank, like check your lives. And if you're like less than half your health left and you do still have at least 1 life in the tank, don't burn an E-tank and don't burn your energy from your robot master weapons. Just use up that half a bar, kind of like take one for the team, use up that half a bar of health to kind of learn the robot master's pattern a little bit, let them kill you, then come back in with a full set of health. And then you can use your E-tanks and then you can use your robot master weapons and go to town. That's how I do it anyways. So good luck. Good luck. You'll get there. You'll get there, Disco Stew. DePizzi said, Adam, your thoughts on Kirby Air Riders? I honestly, shamefully will be picking it up. Sakurai never disappoints. I talked about this on Game Patch a little bit, but if you're not a patron, then maybe you didn't hear it. Yeah, I never played Kirby Air Ride. I kind of have always written Kirby games off ever since like the Super Nintendo because I just thought they were too easy. But I've played quite a few of them for the podcast now over the years, and I've warmed up to Kirby. There's a spot for Kirby in my life now. That said, this fall is just so fucking packed. Like in the next 6 weeks, I plan to play Shinobi, Everybody's Golf, Chronos: The New Dawn, Silent Hill F, Ghost of Yotai. Is that it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, like 5 or 6 games. Plus I'm trying to finish GTA 5 for Remember the Game 350. Plus I'm working on Fire Emblem. So I don't see myself picking up Kirby Air Riders at launch or anything. But I'm not opposed to picking it up down the road if it reviews well enough. I would say I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, but it's not at the top of my list. John C500 said, hey, Adam, we finally got some hype building with the Gears of War Netflix movie. Would you like to see it straight up follow the first game or have it a little different like the Mario Brothers approach? Also, it's Gears week. I'm so excited for this. It's grub killing time. Shit, yeah. Yeah, shout out to everybody on PlayStation that is finally getting to experience Gears of War for the first time. I hope you love it. I really do. I've said many times, it's the game that brought me back to gaming after my bar hopping phase in my early 20s. I fucking love Gears of War. It's my favorite Xbox franchise, and I'm so excited that a bunch of new people are going to get to play it. As far as the movie goes, I would like to see them stick relatively close to the first game, if anything, because I don't know like if it means we're going to get more. I wouldn't mind it if they brought some events from 2 and 3 in, or I would like to see more history. Not so much like Gears of War E-Day prequel stuff, but stuff like Coltrane prior to, like flashbacks. So like what their lives were like before everything went to shit. Stuff like that. Expand on it. But I would like to kind of see them stick relatively close to the original game. Yeah, can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. Eric M. from Parts Unknown said, I originally started checking out game hacks at first just to get proper translations on games that have bad localization, but recently I've been getting into hacks that expand on games with new content or storylines. I found several really high quality ones out there, including ones where they put Ninja Turtle assets into Streets of Rage 2. I could list several, but there is one I really think you should check out. It's called WWF Legends Challenge 64. They have a website, but just look it up on YouTube. Takes the No Mercy engine to the next level. I know you probably don't want to promote hacks per se, but would you ever check them out personally? Keep up the great work. I do know what you're talking about, Eric. I absolutely do. I have no problem promoting hacks. I get asked a lot to play like ROM hacks or like fan-made games. I know there's like some Mario ones. I can't remember what it's called now. But there's like some really tough Mario games out there that people have been after me to play. The big reason I don't get into those games is just because I can't keep up with games for the show as it is. And I really don't see myself dedicating a podcast to like the ROM hacks. And so I'm like, fuck, when am I ever going to find time to fit this in? Like in the odd time I do play something that's not for the show, like for the podcast, I mean, it's like MLB The Show or WWE or Mario Kart or something. So I hear those of you bringing them up, and I'm not entirely uninterested. It's just my gaming time budget is stretched pretty thin as it is. That's all. But plus I got to fuck with computers, and I hate computers. That's all. Hooli, the Holy Heretic, and I know I said it correctly, said, hey, Adam, if you could be on any game show or reality show, what would it be and why? It would either be Wheel of Fortune, because I feel like I could actually answer some of those questions, or I've always genuinely wanted to be on Survivor. But with my asthma and my allergies, I'd be fucked before the game even started. They'd have to medically evac me like in the first 20 minutes. But I would love to, I would be cutting throats like a fucking assassin on Survivor, son. I'm going to read a lot of these this week because I feel like reading comments. Nate.txt said, I know you're a Blink-182 fan. I was always a Sum 41 guy who had their farewell tour last year, which I got to see. If you could go back in time and see any band or artist perform in their prime, who would it be? For the record, I also like Sum 41. I am a Blink fan, but I do like Sum 41. If I could go back in time, I would either see Michael Jackson in like the Thriller days or the Beastie Boys in their prime. Those have always been the two that I would pay good money to go back and see. The Love Sauce said, Adam, I'm very concerned about no date for Metroid Prime 4 this far into 2025. Do you feel that the Switch 1 version of the game is holding back development like the Series S seems to hold back Series X games on Xbox? You know what? Maybe, Love Sauce, because you're right. It does seem very, like, Nintendo is consistently doubled down and said, hey, we are working on Prime 4. It's still coming before the end of the year. We promise it's coming before the end of the year. Don't leave, it's coming before the end of the year. But you're right. Like, it's basically September now, and we've got Pokemon in October, and we've got Kirby in November, or vice versa. I can't remember, but I think that way. So where's even the space for Metroid Prime 4 now? Like, it's either going to be shadow dropped in September, or it's going to have to come out in early December. And I don't know why they, like, I get spacing your games out. That part I understand. But I don't get why we wouldn't have a date by now. I know there's a lot of rumors floating around that we're going to get a direct in September. And you have to think, if we do, Metroid Prime 4 is part of it. But yeah, I wonder if the fact that they're dropping it on OG Switch is what's slowing it down. Because I can't see why you wouldn't have said anything by this point. I wish it wasn't, like, I'm sorry to those of you that are still playing on the original Switch. I've always said, like, I never want games to be on both. Not that I feel like I'm better than people on the original Switch, because I got a Switch too. Like the Mandelbaums, you think you're better than me. But just because, like, I spent a lot of money on this new tech and I want to see a game that takes advantage of the new hardware. You know what I mean? That's all. So I don't know. I don't know what's holding it back, but I have high hopes for it, and I want it. Damn it. I want it soon. Because I'm not buying Pokemon, and I'm probably not buying Kirby. I want Metroid. Damn it. Man of War said, obviously, Adam, you play a lot of games for the show, but do you ever have issues finishing them? I have a habit of getting 75 to 80% through a game and then moving on. I'm wondering if this is a me issue, or do others struggle with it as well? You know, Man of War, if there's one thing I've learned in 41 years on this planet, it's that nothing is just necessarily a you issue. Anything that's wrong with you, or anything you think you have wrong with you, other people have as well. I've learned that. Everything. That said, this sounds like a you problem. No, I'm just kidding. The only games I do that with are, I'm brutal for open world games. Dude, man, it's insane the number of open world games that I will sink so much time into and, like, probably be 70-75% of the way through. And then I'm just like, I don't feel like doing this anymore. I don't know why. I guess I'm just a piece of shit. So see, I'm part of the problem, just like you, Man of War. And then finally, before we move on, it's letter time. Rubik's, a.k.a. Arthur David, said, Adam, a while back, you charged slightly more for your Patreon to get more revenue to spend on advertising. As someone who's done some advertising as well for my own creative content, I've grown increasingly wary of all the self-promoting. As someone who's done some advertising as well for my own creative content, but I've grown increasingly wary of all the self-promoting. I was wondering, what have you found has worked the best? You know, Rubik's, that's something I get asked a lot. How do you grow the show? How do you advertise the show? And if I'm being honest, yeah, like for those of you that are maybe newer to the podcast, I think it was about a year ago now, I raised our $2 tier up to $3 just to try to bump it up a little bit, or to try to generate a little bit more income to spend on trying to grow the podcast with advertising. And over the last year, I've spent money on getting professionally made, like, shorts and images made to put up on social media. I've spent money on tables and booths at conventions to advertise the show. I've paid for social media advertising on the show. And if I'm being honest with you, I haven't really found any of it has worked. Our downloads haven't dropped, but our downloads haven't grown in over a year. Like we have stayed within about 10 to 20,000 downloads of our standard number every month for the last year and a half. So for those asking like where your money is best spent on podcast advertising, I'm not going to say it's not, but I haven't really found any success. You know where I find the most success from the podcast is either crossing the streams with other podcasts, going on their shows and their guests coming on mine and plugging their stuff, or just word of mouth. People that enjoy your show go out and tell other people they enjoy the show. And when's the last time you saw, like, I watch tons of clips on YouTube and stuff from like wrestling podcasts, and I'm like, oh, that looks really interesting. And then I kind of just pass it on it. Or I watch it and I'm like, that's good. But then I actually don't go look up the show. Whereas if someone comes to me and they're like, yo, this show's awesome, dude. This is what it's about. Check it out. Maybe I'm more likely to check it out. So I'm not going to say not to spend your money on advertising, but just for those of you that are wondering, I don't mind being transparent. I have yet to have any real success with spending. And I've spent like a nice chunk on advertising and just haven't really gotten anywhere with it. So I know it's not a good answer, but I like to be transparent. So that's where I am with it. Anyway, thank you to everybody that wrote in. I answered a lot of those. We need to keep this ball rolling. Let's switch things up and get to our Smash Hit segment, the official game show of Remember the Game Industries. Play one, remake one, erase one. And a huge thank you to Classic Concentration from the NES for unknowingly providing us with the theme music for the show. The rules are simple. Every week I give our Patreons not one, not two, but three retro video games. They can play one as it was released, remake one as a modern game, and the third is erased from time forever. And as always, there are no wrong answers, but there is a right one. We'll get to that in a minute. This week we're talking Super Metroid, which is an absolute Super Nintendo classic. So I went with three more absolute Super Nintendo classics: Donkey Kong Country 2, Chrono Trigger, and Link to the Past. This one got 130 comments. I think this is a record for Play One, Remake One, Erase One. There was a lot of people that weighed in on this. And at the end of the day, 38% of you voted to play Link to the Past, remake Chrono Trigger, and erase Donkey Kong Country 2. So there really isn't a wrong answer this week. I'd argue they're all wrong because erasing any of these games seems blasphemous. But let's see what a few of you had to say, and then I'll tell you what my answer was. Bort License Plates said, what is Sophie's choice here? For me, I'll have to play Chrono Trigger because I've never played it. I know. Remake Link to the Past. Can you imagine a complete remake and how beautiful it would be? And that leaves erasing Donkey Kong Country 2. We have other really good Donkey Kong Country games, so this one's got to go. I mean, I would argue that this is the best Donkey Kong Country game, Bort License Plates, but the logic stands. You are right. There are a lot of them. Fair enough. There's more Zeldas, but anyway. Chris J said, naturally, my first go at this after joining the Patreon is the toughest one I've ever seen. It might be the toughest one we've ever done. Play A Link to the Past. It's one of the few games I'd consider perfect, with Chrono Trigger fairly close behind. That being said, this game is utterly timeless, and a remake would do almost nothing for it. It's fine. Remake Chrono Trigger. I'd argue it isn't necessary, since like A Link to the Past, it holds up fine, but I have to admit that an HD 2D remake would be awesome and would double as a way to keep it available on modern audiences. And then erase Donkey Kong Country 2 because I play by the rules, and it'd be a goddamn travesty to erase Link to the Past or Chrono Trigger. I guess I'm not going to win my first game, though, since I have a feeling you're axing Chrono Trigger for sure. Oh, you'll fucking find out, Chris J. You'll fucking find out. Smith said, I'll play Chrono Trigger. I never played it during the Super Nintendo era. Based on all the love it gets, I'd have to play it before remaking or erasing it. I'll remake Donkey Kong Country 2, as it's the superior Donkey Kong Country installment and would be a good place to start for a modern 2D side-scrolling platformer. And I'd erase Link to the Past. There are so many versions of this game. Would anyone really miss it? I mean, there are more Zeldas than anything else. Like there are no wrong answers this week, really. Space Bass said, I don't really know how you erase any of these, but if I'm forced to, I guess it's Donkey Kong Country 2, because I'm just not into platformers, even ones that are so good that I forget that I hate platformers when I'm playing them. Play Link to the Past because I don't know what you would do to make it any more perfect, and then I guess remake Chrono Trigger, even though it's my favorite Super Nintendo game, just because it could be cooler with Octopath Traveler style graphics, and that is the only change I would make to it. Sack of Ass said, play Zelda. It's a perfect as is and will always be comfort to me, just like my favorite sock. Erase Chrono Trigger. After having timed hits in games like Mario RPG and, of course, Sea of Stars, Chrono is just too boring and slow for me. Remake Donkey Kong Country 2 and make Kiddy Kong the main character for the entire game. No, Dixie, I said what I said. Well, that's why your username is Sack of Ass. The shoe fucking fits. You fucking Ignoramus. George Swan said, play Zelda Link to the Past. This one never gets old. The dungeons, the music, the dark world twist, pure magic. Rewrite Chrono Trigger. It's basically already perfect, but I'd rewrite it to expand on some side stories. Magus deserves more depth. More endings? Why not? Sure. And then erase Donkey Kong Country 2. Painful choice because it's a platforming masterpiece, but if one's got to go, I'm sorry, Dixie and Diddy. I really don't have a beef with any answers this week outside of replacing Dixie with Kiddy Kong, which is fucking insanity. But I am going with the runner-up. 18% of you voted the way I did, as did Piss Out My Ass, who said play Donkey Kong Country 2 because the Donkey Kong Country games don't need to be touched. Remake Link to the Past because lots of older Zelda games always feel super fun, but there's always minor details and upgrades I wish were different. And then erase Chrono Trigger because there's lots of other iconic games like it that I could play. I don't know if there's a lot like Chrono Trigger, but I do agree with your order. Piss out my ass. I'm going to play Donkey Kong Country 2 because, as I've said before, I think it's the best game on the Super Nintendo, frankly. I'm going to remake Link to the Past, and I'm going to do it like Tears of the Kingdom. I thought about like a Link's Awakening remake, but I'm going to make it like a full-blown 3D, a huge open expanded world Tears of the Kingdom game. And then I'm going to erase Chrono Trigger. And I know you were right, whoever it was that called me out for that earlier. It's fine, but like my holy trinity of Super Nintendo RPGs is Final Fantasy II, Super Mario RPG, and Earthbound. Chrono Trigger, it's very, very good, but I just don't have that attachment to it. And nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Thank you, everyone that wrote in, as always. We got to keep the ball rolling. What have I been playing over the last week? Fire Emblem for the GBA, which is an upcoming episode of the show. It's very, very good. I love it. Mutant League Football, which is probably going to be next week's episode to be in time for season 1 of the NFL. I'd never played it before. Mutant League Football is fucking awesome. And for everybody writing in telling me I need to play Mutant League Hockey as well, I agree, and I will. But I wanted to play football in time for the launch of the season. It's really, really good. I've been replaying Final Fantasy 4/2 on the Super Nintendo just because it's one of my favorite games ever, and we're going to revisit it soon. And then I'm still just putting in my final laps on Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, which is fucking one of my favorite games of this year, before Shinobi drops on Friday, all right? Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to let a sponsor in. They're going to do their thing, and when they are done, if I've got one, as some people pointed out, they're like, sometimes you say there's going to be a sponsor, there's not a sponsor. If their ads have run out, then you get a freebie. But assuming I've got a sponsor, they're going to come in. And when we get back, it's Super Metroid from here till the end of time, okay? We'll be right back after this.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
All right, let's talk about Super Metroid. As always, I like to let you nerds sound off before my guests and I hog the microphone. And believe it or not, we had no shortage of comments about a game as monumental as Super Metroid. So I'm going to read a bunch. I couldn't get all of them, but I'll read a bunch of them. Let's go here. Captain Superstar said, embarrassed to admit I came to this game very late, but between loving Hollow Knight and a desire to play as many all-time classic games as possible, I finally got around to playing and beating Super Metroid late last year via Switch Online. Despite having now played several Metroid games considered to be among the best, including Dread, Prime, Zero Mission, and Fusion, this is still my favorite. The game's subtle storytelling, its atmosphere, clever map design, the overpowered feeling you slowly gain as you collect power-ups, it was all fantastic. To consider this game essentially established an entire genre that's been iterated on for years while still holding up today, legendary. Also, perfect timing for this episode with Silksong on the horizon. Yeah, for the record, we planned this before they announced the Silksong release date, but it did work out pretty good. And that's a great point. I honestly didn't think of. When you're like, this game's like one that established a genre and arguably still does the genre better than games that have been like try to improve on it. I agree. That is something. That's a good point. Justin Bailey said, this is my favorite Metroid game and it's not even close. The atmosphere and music made you feel truly alone on a hostile planet that wanted nothing more than your death. The boss fights were epic and the sheer amount of items to find made me check every passage. This game still holds up after all these years. There's a reason this game is used as the bar to judge not only other Metroid games, but Metroidvanias in general. Well said. I don't disagree with that either. Super Koopa says, Super Metroid holds an special place for me. I was playing it when I learned my sister was soon to pass away. I still have the save from that day and I hope I never lose it. I play it all the way through every year around that time. As a game, it seemed like it made the biggest leap from the NES era. The first one was horrible for a kid. No map made it feel impossible. SNES Metroid felt like it was made for everyone regardless of difficulty. Until Dread, it was the best the genre ever had. Sorry to hear about your sister, but Well said. Well said. I also, I think I say it on this episode, but I also feel that Dread is the best Metroid. And then I would go Prime and then a tie between Super Metroid and Fusion. But that tie, like the difference between like 1 to 4 on that is like hairs. And it might change based on my mood, but. Clap says Super Metroid has been one of my favorite games for a while now, and it's not nostalgia. I played it for the first time probably a good 10 years after it released. The perfect pacing and level design, coupled with the insane level of detail and immersive atmosphere, has really affected me over the years. The plot of the game is very simplistic, but the sense of isolation and the moment-to-moment experience of interacting with this world and systems have made me realize the true power of this wonderful medium. I found that there are two things that excite me most with game design: satisfying, snappy mechanics that feel good to master, and immersive experimental design over cinematic plot-driven design. When the two schools of thought come together, there are some of my favorite games, and Super Metroid is the perfect example. There's only a handful of games I've played since that have come close to affecting me in the same way, but it's hard to top this masterpiece. I think Clap likes Super Metroid. Captain Black Silver said, I don't think I ever fell in love with a game faster than this one. I believe Super Metroid is the prime example of what can be achieved on the SNES. Between the scenery, music, and epic bosses, it is the most immersive game the system has to offer. I'll agree with that. It is the most immersive. I agree. And Habitual Line Stepper said, I tried this game years ago and it didn't really click with me. However, after listening to you gargle its balls on the original episode, I tried to give it another go. I'm glad I did. It's one of those games that holds up even today. If any of the other hot dogs had a similar experience when they first tried Super Metroid, I implore you, try it again and give it a fair shake. It might just surprise you. I just bumped my microphone into my lip. Sorry about that. But I agree. And the first episode did kind of sound like we were gargling its balls, not only because we loved the game, but because the audio was shit. It's time to fix one of those two things. We're still going to gargle some balls, except she doesn't have balls because it's Samus. Anyway, whatever. We're talking Super Metroid with my boy Dan from Dissect That Film. I'm going to cue up some music. And when it stops, we're going to take you back to April 18th of 1994 and talk the legendary Super Metroid for the legendary Super Nintendo. Enjoy the episode, everybody. Let's go. All right. This is, it's a big one, but it's also the second time we've done this. But that doesn't negate the bigness of this episode. We're talking Samus. We're talking the legendary Super Metroid with a legendary hot dog. One of the OGs around here, my boy Dan. Dan, how's it going, buddy? How are you?
It's going well, but when you're talking about big stuff, I'm confused why you decided to include me in this, but I'll go with it.
Well, I needed something not as big to offset the bigness.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. That, and I know that you know this game, and if I could be honest, my friend, so when we first covered this game, it was back in like episode 40, that no one was listening to the show yet. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Now there's expectations. It's 300 episodes later, and Super Metroid is it's one of those ones that like everyone loves this game. I get it. I love it too. But like, I think I've beat it maybe 3 times. Like, I never had it as a kid. I never played it as a kid. I didn't play it till the Wii on the virtual console.
Really?
Oh, buddy, I never played it.
No, it's fair.
Yeah, never. And then I was replaying it a few weeks ago on stream to get ready for this episode. And I was losing my fucking mind. And I decided like, this is not one that I can stream. Because you got to focus. I got to remember, where have I been? What halls haven't I gone down yet? Where haven't I looked? How I was getting stuck. So then I was like, I'm not streaming it. I'm playing it off stream so I could focus. And then I beat it in about 5 hours. And I was like, all right, that's better. Found my way through. Fuck, she holds up. Dude. What's that?
Yeah, but streaming's a bitch, dude. That's like, you're always worse at it. I did a stream a long time ago where I gave myself 8 hours to beat all 6 original Mega Mans back to back. And I was like, why am I dying? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, if nobody was watching me, I'd be fine.
Yeah. Dude, I say that all the time. I'm like, there's something about stream. There's something about people. It's like trying to piss. There's something about somebody watching. It makes it so much harder. And video games are like that. When I got off stream and played it, I was like, I still got lost a little bit, but not nearly as bad. That said, I have to say, like when I think of the Super Nintendo, I think of like Super Mario World, Earthbound, Link to the Past, like Mega Man X, like my personal Super Punch-Out's one of my personal favorites. I never think of Super Metroid because I just didn't have the attachment to it as a kid. But like replaying it, I'm like, this obviously is one of the best games on like, if someone came to me and said this is the best game on the Super Nintendo, I I don't know if I would necessarily agree, but I have no problem with that argument.
That's
Like,
fair. That's reasonable.
is this your favorite Super Nintendo game?
That's my favorite game, period.
Yeah, that's what I
Like,
thought you were gonna
fucking
say.
period.
Like,
Which is amazing. It beats out all Mega Man for me, which is really weird. But
sure, but it's pretty fucking spectacular, man. Like I have one. You know what? We'll do the negative. I only have one qualm, and that is that area with the water and the sand sucks, and I hate it.
yeah,
That's my.
God.
That's it. That's my.
No,
qualm.
I agree. That's so. Whenever I play through this game, the many times, of course, I have I always fuck the name up. I want to call it Myriad, and that's not right.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the names.
But I put the brain in the robot. These people know. They've watched it. You get it. But that place, I'll get in there and I'm like, I'm gonna get turned around. That's always a thought in my back of in my head because I always do it. I always get turned around there, and I've done this tons of times. Always fucks me up.
Always, I hate that fucking area. Like, and it's
terrible.
And there are harder puzzles in the game. Like,
oh yeah,
like to me the most, and unfortunately I knew this was coming, so it wasn't so bad. Where I know, like I was looking online, like when I finished my playthrough, one of the things I've taken to doing when I finish a playthrough is I'll go online and I'll just look to see what other people are saying about a game, and I'm like, like if there's a part I got stuck at or something that I didn't like, I'm like, am I so out of touch, or did other people struggle with this too? and the general consensus was like, yeah, the water part, the sand part, like that area is the worst. Is most people are like, that's the crappiest part of the game. Like not even. Like it's Super Metroid crappy. It's not like by most games very good, but by Super Metroid standards, it's kind of crappy. But you know where the number one place people seem to get stuck is where you have to super bomb that glass tube.
Really? That wasn't mine.
And I say
yes,
I remember being stuck there, but I guess like I'm trying to think the game, like not that Metroid is the most hand-holdy franchise in the world, but I don't remember them ever like you know when you learn how to wall jump and those stupid rabbits show you how to wall jump?
Yep.
When you learn how to do the dash jump and that ostrich thing shows you like...
Yeah.
I don't remember any hints in the game that you could super bomb that glass chamber and break it open.
I guess you're just supposed to do it. So like on my first playthroughs, like when I was, but a wee lad, my places I got stuck were actually... I did get stuck in the bounce with the rabbits bouncing off the wall.
Oh.
And then when I was, because you don't know, but like now I can just wall jump like nothing, but it's different than even new Metroid games. The wall jumping mechanic's just entirely different. And then it was trying to find Kraid's lair.
Yeah.
I didn't think to blow up a fucking wall in an elevator shaft. Like, why the hell would I think to do that?
Yeah. So on both of those points, I want to just quickly say, I guess that is my one other gripe with the game is I did, after 2 playthroughs back to back, I did finally kind of get a feel for that wall jump, but that wall jump is pretty wonky. That's borderline for Nintendo's, like, and to keep in mind, I know it's like the cool thing to do to hate on Nintendo now. That wasn't the case in 1994. People liked Nintendo back then. Kind of unacceptable. Wall jumping's been in games since like Batman on the NES. You could have made it easier than you fucking did in this game.
Dude, Mega Man X.
Yeah.
Literally before this game.
Ever. Yeah.
Into the wall, not out of the wall.
That's where it gets you, is you jump into the wall, and then like, so if you're going into a wall on the right, you jump to the wall on the right, then you need to like quickly hit left, and you'll see like Samus has that like animation where she's kind of like putting a hand and a knee on the wall, and then that's your opening to jump. But it takes some practice. And I was asking the people on stream, I'm like, am I just shit at this? And most of them were like, no, that wall jumping takes that takes some getting used to.
Yeah, I hit my son with it because he was watching me, and I'll probably talk more about him later because he's been on a huge Metroid kick as of late.
Nice.
But he was watching me play Super Metroid, and he was playing through it, and I was like, hey, don't forget when you go down Brinstar, when you go get the charge beam, there's a missile up there. You can wall jump it. You don't need the thing. And I showed him how to do it. I don't know if he ended up getting it or got it the second time through. I have no idea.
That's still something to be proud of, though. I can appreciate that.
Dude, I got a story here at the end for that. But
and then I wanted to say, like that wall, like where you mentioned earlier, I got stuck there as well. Like and you know what, dude? Like I didn't even discover Metroidvanias really until later. And now, obviously now I talk about them all the time. Like I full-fledged card carrying fan club member. Like I love Metroidvanias. One of the things I've learned as I've been playing through more and more of the Metroid games since I started this podcast is like, and I get a lot of asks from people like, hey, I'm new to Metroid. Where should I start? And do you have any tips? And where you should start is obviously subjective. We'll talk about that. But one of the tips I give them is like, if you have to go to the internet for a tip, I'm past trying to look cool and be like, I'll figure it out myself. If I have to go to the internet and look something up, I'll fucking do it. I don't like to, but I will. But
Yes.
I tell people when you're playing Metroid, before you go to the internet, and if you have to, you have to. But before you go to the internet, like, just bomb everything.
Yes.
Walk into walls. It's like Metroid Dread to me is my favorite Metroid game. Like I love Metroid Dread. But there are multiple instances in that game where you get stuck and it's just expecting you to find like a tile that can be blown up or shot. And it's just, so that's like my number one. You're better at this game than I am, but like, tell me if you have a better piece of advice that just like, if you ever get stuck, walk into stuff, you have infinite little bombs, just roll around dropping bombs. At least until you get the scanning radar. And then even when you get the scanning radar, there's the occasional thing that doesn't show up on the fucking scanning radar.
That's true. And your advice is solid as hell. It's bomb or shoot everything. And then once you get the super bombs, bomb every room you go into.
Yeah. Because it's not like the game is skimpy with ammo. Like every enemy drops fucking ammo. It'll hook you back up.
Dude, the whole game you get like 50 or 75 power bombs. You don't need that many.
No, not even
fine
close.
with like 10.
Yeah. So just start, bombing and fucking shooting and super bombing everything. Because that's 9 times out of 10, that's where your solution is. But I get how people get stuck in it. I want to just quickly backtrack to that. I meant to ask you, like, have you? So the only, I mean, I won't say I've played every Metroid, but like the only big name Metroids that I haven't played Prime 2 or 3. Still hoping for Nintendo to fucking make that easier for me, but I'm not convinced they're going to. But like, I've played Fusion, I've played Dread, I've played Zero Mission, I played Metroid 2. Like, when people ask me where to start, I used to say Super Metroid. I now go with Fusion just because it's not as mazy. It's a little bit more linear, and I'm like, it might help you wet your feet a bit. But I'm just curious, where would you tell someone Super Metroid if someone asked you where to start?
Probably not. I think at this point it's just a little bit too archaic. I think if you want like more hand-holdy and for accessibility, I mean, I guess it is on the Switch online, but I would almost say go with, good Lord, Dread, because you can do the easy mode and it could walk you through it. But if you were to go with an older title, I would say probably Zero Mission and then Fusion, like you said.
Okay.
Just for the sake of, because there's some nice quality of life adjustments they made at that point. You know, if you don't save and you die, you still go back to a save point. It's not like Dread, but you know.
Yeah. It's like, because I do get asked that, and every time we cover a big game from a big franchise, same as like whenever we do a Final Fantasy or a Zelda, people are like, where do I start? I've never played one before. And when it comes to Metroid, like, honestly, like, start wherever you want. Dread's a good pick. I think Fusion's a good pick. Zero Mission's fine. Super Metroid is where I started, and I turned out okay. The only piece of advice I offer people: do not start with NES Metroid.
No,
it was good by NES standards, but like, if you were to start with that, you might be like, no, I'm out. Fuck this franchise. I'm done. Don't start with NES Metroid.
I remember, like, that was my first one, was NES Metroid, and it's funny like how titles can shift so much, because I played the original Metroid, and I was like, this is okay. And then, 2 games later, it's the best game of all time. I didn't play Metroid 2 until after Super Metroid.
Oh, really? Yeah, I actually only played it, a couple years. I didn't love it. It was okay. It was okay.
I have a story for Metroid 2, but that's for might be for another time.
But yeah, no, it's Super Metroid. Like, I was saying this too. Like, there's so many franchises. Like, we're gonna get more to the game in a minute, but I'm just talking about the overall like impact of this fucking game.
Yeah,
there's so many franchises that make the leap from the NES to the Super Nintendo, and it's obvious. Like, Mega Man to Mega Man X, obvious improvement. Mario to Super Mario World. I mean, Mario 3 to Mario World is a smaller improvement, but in my opinion, it's still an improvement. Zelda, it's an improvement. I was asking on social media one day, I was like, is there a franchise that makes a bigger jump in quality from the NES to the Super Nintendo than Metroid? And the only one, in my opinion, those of you saying Mega Man, I hear you, but I don't think it's as big as Metroid. The only one I think I agree with is if you were to go Final Fantasy 1 to Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo, that's pretty big. I'm like, fair enough. That's pretty big jump.
Yeah.
But Metroid on the NES to Super Metroid is like, It's like NES Metroid, they were just playing with like a recipe, and then Super Metroid, they put it all in the pot and cooked it, and it was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, dude, I don't know what the fuck they were on for Super Metroid, but that was like the perfect storm of shit for me.
Yeah. It's fucking wild, man. Like I said, I'm replaying it. I just finished replaying it, and I was like, it's aged and plays every bit as good as it is right there with Super Mario World, Link to the Past, Donkey Kong Country 2, like the best of the best on the console and of all time, quite frankly. You did bring up the point that like, and I hate to say it, but I do kind of agree. It's not that it's bad by any stretch, but it is just like, it is just a little archaic by 2025 standards compared to
really is.
modern entries because Metroidvanias have really just come so far since then. Like this was such a niche title on the NES and the Super Nintendo. And now Metroidvanias, like they're a dime a dozen. They're great, but everyone's making Metroidvanias now.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't remember, like, I didn't do a lot with gaming magazines back then. You used to get the old Game Informers and Game Pros and shit like that, right, at the grocery store. But, like, I wasn't, like, hardcore into that kind of thing. And I don't know what the reaction with this game was at the time. I just remember the first time I see it, what my experience was. But, like, I didn't know. Nobody ever talked to me about it. I was like, I fucking love this game. Everybody's like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm like, okay.
Dude, I feel the same way. Like my buddy Daniel, the guest on the first Super Metroid episode, I remember him playing it a little bit when we were kids, but I never played it. I don't remember, like I was talking gaming with all my friends, but we were talking Mario and Ninja Turtles and Mega Man and Mario Kart and Zelda. I don't remember anybody talking Super Metroid back in the day. And it's sold. Like it's not Earth.
Yeah.
Like it's like a copy of Super Metroid. It's a reason, like, I don't know what they're worth now, like $50 or whatever. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
It's not a like Earthbound is one of those games that now everyone's like, oh dude, Earthbound's great, but no one gave a fuck about it back then, which is why it's so expensive now. That wasn't the case with the Super Metroid. So I feel the same way too. I'm just like, who the fuck was playing this back then? Like,
everybody, people we didn't fucking know.
Apparently, I don't get it because now it's like, yeah. No, go ahead. I agree with you.
I want to ask you, because what is your legacy with this game? I know you didn't play it till later on, but I know you heard about it in your ute. So I'm just curious.
Like what do I think of it?
No, what's your history with this? Like, I know you didn't play it till later, but you knew about it.
I knew of it. Literally, the only thing I remember about it from my childhood is going over to my buddy Daniel's place and seeing the screen where you like can see all Samus's like power ups, like the armor screen. Yep. And then seeing like a minute of her like grapple hooking around, and that was it. And I was interested because I was like, dude, like we all have the NES's Super Nintendo games we played that were just shit, but we played them because it was a video game.
Yeah.
Like I was interested. I didn't even know if it was any good, but I was interested. That was it. Like I knew. And then my next experience with Metroid as a whole was Metroid Prime, which I bought for my GameCube because of the great reviews. And I played it for like an hour and was like, eh. And then I just never went back until I replayed it like a year ago. And now it's one of my favorite games of all time. It's spectacular.
Best shit takes ever by Adam.
I know. I was like, I literally played it for like, I don't know. I did that opening part where it's like teaching you how to like lock on the targets and shoot them. And I went in and I was like, this is whatever. I think it's because I was really into Halo back then. And I was like, this is pretty slow compared to Halo. And I didn't know Metroid. I didn't know Metroid. I know some of you were like, why am I listening to this fucking idiot's podcast? I don't know, because I didn't know Metroid. And then when I got a Wii, I notoriously hate the Wii. But
yep, that's fair. That's fair.
But I love the Virtual Console. And so this was on there for like the $7 or $8 or whatever the fuck it was. And I was like, you know what? It's on, dude, if you look up a list of the best Super Nintendo games of all time and Super Metroid is not in the top 5, that list loses all credibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like it's in every list. So I was like, okay, I got to finally play this and see what it's all about. And if I may be wrong, but I feel like it was like my first Metroidvania type game. And it finally clicked and and then that was it. And then I just fell in love with the genre as a whole. I always say like the two biggest holes in my Super Nintendo bingo card, one was Super Metroid, and then the other one is ActRaiser. I still haven't played ActRaiser. And I keep hearing ActRaiser's great, but
dude, listen, I'm not trying to veer off subject, but you're like my two biggest holes, and I'm like ass mouth. Like, that's where my mind just went. But ActRaiser is good.
Yeah, I hear ActRaiser's fire, but this was one. So, Unlike you. So now I'll ask you, because you're like, oh, it's my favorite game of all time. I love this game. But you didn't know anyone else that played it either. So were you just like staying home by yourself all summer, just playing this alone, or what the fuck?
Well, okay, so I never owned this game.
Was it
So
one of
that's
those rent it?
yes.
Yeah.
So my first time, okay, so I played the original Metroid. I was like, hey, original Metroid, it's okay, as I said. Never knew about the second one. And then I ended up, I don't remember where I read about it, or I seen it was in a magazine, or it was just on the shelf, or I used to go to an old Montgomery Ward. I don't know if they had those up north, but they don't have them here anymore. It's kind of like a Target kind of store.
we
Anyway,
don't have those either. So,
oh well, whatever.
but all right, fair
it's a
enough.
Walmart-esque store.
Okay, we have that. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair. What doesn't? Anyway, so I remember I seen it probably there because I remember they were like $85 a piece, brand new. People bitch about game prices now. We're not alive in the 90s.
No shit.
And but then they had kiosks at Toys R Us. And they had Super Metroid. You'd like push a button and it would show you like a brief clip of like, this is what the game's about, and kind of like a trailer before trailers were like a thing on the internet, right?
Sure.
So I literally would just hit there and fucking watch that game over and over again. And I ended up renting it, played the piss out of it, got any way possible to rent this game. And even you don't ask certain relatives for money. You're not supposed to ask your relatives for money anyway, but you're not. I would like go to my uncle and I'm like, dude, you have to rent this game for me, which I knew at that point I had a problem. But no, that was it. Like it was that, and then just everything that went after it. I played the living shit out of it, and I eventually got my own physical cartridge from my wife and kids for Valentine's Day like years ago. And that's the card I have now. And that's what I play on is that card. At least once a year.
This would be a tough game to beat renting it over and over and over again. Like it having because again, like I couldn't even beat it on stream. I had to get off stream so I could fucking dial it in. I can't even imagine trying to beat it off like
dude,
in those little short bursts.
Yeah, those losers watching you, dragging you down.
Yeah. They also pay my mortgage so much. I love them. But yeah, I got you.
I do the same to our audience too. I shit on them all the time. It's for love. It's out of love. All right.
Yeah. No, it's it's fucking wild. And like again, like that water area kind of irritates me. Yep. And then the wall jump is
Meridia. I looked it up.
Yeah. And then the wall jump gets old, but you get better at it. It just takes practice, but you do get it.
Yeah.
Other than that though, dude, like I don't know if I have a complaint. Like the game, like, and we're gonna get into all these little facets of it, but like it looks incredible. It plays really good. It sounds like for a game that doesn't have a lot of music, it has really good music. Does that make sense?
Oh God, it does. Yes.
Because like when you think banging music, you think like the Mega Man X soundtrack or some of the Donkey Kong tunes and stuff like that. It's like these are also like kind of atmospheric and mellow and almost kind of. It's shocking how they were almost able to make a Super Nintendo game creepy, considering it's a Super Nintendo game.
Yeah.
It's everything works in this game's favor. Like it has no flaws other than the wall jump. Even the water area or the wall jump. Like I know there are diehards out there that'll write in and be like, "Oh, the wall jump's not that bad. Get good." Fair enough, but I still think wall jumping was implemented better than this at that point. It's inexcusable they had to make it so hard. Samus is a fucking rock star. You can't tell me she couldn't figure out how to wall jump, for fuck's sakes.
Was this the game you figured out she was a woman?
Yeah, but that only I knew before I beat it, but only because I'd seen it like. I don't remember where. I'd seen it somewhere. At that point, I was on the internet and stuff like that. But
okay, well, yeah, because it was that you played at the Wii point. I didn't know. I was just curious because that was kind of a big deal to people.
Oh yeah. She's a trailblazer. Like it's great that more women are getting leading roles in games now. But like before Lara Croft and all you fucking weirdos with your triangle obsessions, Samus was Samus was she was the first lady of gaming. I'd argue.
But yeah, dude, like I remember my reaction. I was like, what? She's a woman? We're nowhere near a kitchen. Anyway.
Fuck. Don't write into me, write into Dan. Don't fucking yell at me.
Please, it's a fucking joke, people.
2025, fucking calm down. It's a goddamn joke.
No, dude, no, it was
everybody. You're right.
Oh, good. Everybody made a big deal out of it. It didn't really matter. It was great. I just wanted to ask because I think I saw it in the original one. You could put that code in. And you could play her without the suit on.
Yeah.
It was like a zero suit.
It was crazy because I did beat the NES 1 years ago using like save states out the ass and everything.
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, man,
hard.
It's NES tough for sure.
Yeah.
But had I ever gotten to the end, I would have rocked my socks. I was like, holy fuck, because you can't tell under all that armor and everything. So
No, you don't know. I mean, even in the US Nintendo Power, I think they called her a man because they had like those little comics and shit.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, not important, but whatever.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. Now that we've reminisced, we've done all that, and we've gotten the bad out of the way. I want to get into obviously all the good in this game. So we'll just get the out of the way right now. That way you can all fucking just kick back and enjoy us geeking out over this game for another half hour. So let us get a sponsor in here. I'll keep my bills on because I probably just lost 20 Patriots, and we'll be right back. And we'll talk about the rest of this game. Okay, so we were talking about all the great parts of it, the story, the music, the sound, the atmosphere, the controls, everything like that. Even the story, like I'll be honest, I'm kind of lost in the overarching story of Metroid, but I do like that this is one of the few, like, it sets the tone with the story, and it picks up like at the end of Metroid 1, and then like you fucking drop off the Metroid and everything's all sunshine and lollipops, and you take off into space and then find out everything's gone horribly wrong, and you like cross paths with Ridley, and then like all in the first like 5 minutes of the fucking game. That seems so new back then.
It felt very cinematic, didn't it?
Yeah. It feels like you're playing, like it's obviously much less mature, but like it almost feels like you're playing like a Super Nintendo version of Alien or something.
Yeah. That's about spot on, but yeah.
I mean, very much, obviously, but yeah, like it's, that was kind of new back then. It's fucking wild. And I love the way, like, I love Mario, but the only tie-in from one Mario game to another is Bowser and the characters are back again. So to actually see a game, like, especially now that I've played the NES one and I've played more of them, to see just how it ties into the first game, and if you're new to the series, you're not going to be lost because they're going to walk you through it. But if you're coming back, you're like, holy fuck, this is like a continuation of that last one. I've never seen anything like that. It's wild.
What threw me off when I remember first played this is when they did do the flashback sequence. And I want to throw out almost every time I play this game and that fucking music hits at the beginning, I get goosebumps like every time.
Sure.
But it's when they show, you beat Mother Brain and then you see the baby. And I'm like, I don't remember this. This is a gray area in my memory. And that's the end of Metroid 2.
Oh, right.
So it's after you beat the queen and then the baby. Like, hey,
okay.
The baby hangs out with you.
Yeah,
so
baby,
I didn't. Yeah. Did you watch?
I did watch that stupid video. Yeah, I did watch it. Yeah.
It's so good.
But yeah, like I get them all. Like I said, I'm not the guy to ask about like the fucking storyline of this. I have no fucking idea what's going on. I have no fucking
aliens.
Idea. But it's really cool just the way it sets like that tone. You know what I mean? And then really takes off with the what's left of that, like Metroid and everything, and then you get to like you get to the planet, the Zebes or whatever the fuck it is, the planet.
Yep.
And now you find all like the space pirates there, all these fucking alien pirate things. And then you basically have to fight your way through it. And like you can't leave this planet. You need to find out what the fuck is going on. And it feels so like you feel like you're in old like labs where people were working, and the part where you go to like the ghost ship or whatever the fuck it's called and all that kind of stuff. Like it's frankly like there's more atmosphere in this game than it probably needed to have. It's one of those, I've been saying it on this show for 7 years. Some of the old games that hold up, and the reason we still praise them 20, 35 plus years later, it's when developers took all those extra steps to really spit shine it, put all that extra detail into it. Like they could have just made it, you're on a fucking rock in space and you're going through caves.
No, they could have.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's the same with movies and stuff too. It's not even just games. It's when you watch a movie and it'll be just like, hey, it's an executed film. But then you watch a movie and there's like, it's the subtle nuance. It's like said person has something in their hand, and instead of just like being like, oh, it's just in their hand, they're like, oh, they interact with it, and like maybe it's a can, like, oh, I'm just gonna toss this over here, and like, or little character mannerisms or quirks. Like that's the stuff. I always call it God, this is a term I use for it. It's just like that little bit extra you add to it. Doesn't need to be there, but it adds character to the scene, and that's the shit for me that I remember. And this game has that.
It's memorable. Like it's what makes it memorable is that kind of stuff. Like even replaying it over the last week or so, my personal favorite area of the game is the ship, the old the I don't care if it's a pirate ship, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, the Rex ship. It's good. It's good.
Because I love that, like, you go in there and like all the lights are off. You can see like the wires hanging down and sparking, and you're like, fuck, something has gone horribly wrong in here. But then by the time you get out of that area, like you've powered it up and it all looks completely different, but exactly the same. And you're fighting your way back out of it and everything. And then
I like how none of the save points work. You can't save it.
Yeah, that's such a great. I mean, I will say it's a great touch. It's a great touch in 2025 where I'm playing a game where I can save state anytime I want. If I had been playing that as a kid and my mom was like, it's time to go to bed, and then I finally found a save point, and then the save point didn't fucking work because I had to find a way to power the ship up first, I might not have thought it was as cool. But like it's a great fucking touch. And then when you're done in there, and then you go back out and you kind of go through like the water and there's like the crane shit up above it and everything like that.
Yeah.
Even when you get back up to the planet's surface, I don't know if it's going to sound stupid, but the game does such a great job with the music and the graphics and everything that like it almost feels like you feel less claustrophobic when you get back up, when you get out from like underground or out of that ship or whatever, back up to
it feels good.
Yeah. Like every area just feels so different from each other, despite just kind of being the same.
Absolutely.
It's really remarkable, and it's not the same in the way of like when you play Super Mario World, the fucking the Choco Mountain doesn't feel the same as the Illusion Forest of Illusion, but like it doesn't. I hope this makes sense. It doesn't feel as different as the areas do in Super Metroid.
No, I wonder if it's because they're all interconnected.
Maybe
there's
that's
not
what
that
it is.
gap where like a stage ends, everything goes black. I go to the next section on the map, click the button, and I'm back in the game.
Maybe that's what it is.
It.
Yeah, maybe because I feel like a really good Metroidvania, Super Metroid, Hollow Knight. I just finished replaying again. I love that game so much. A really good Metroidvania, the map is almost a character in the game.
Yeah,
it's not just the background. It's not just the land you're running on, but like you will go back and forth, and that's the big criticism people throw at Metroidvanias. I know it's what I hear from listeners sometimes. Excuse me, is there like there's too much backtracking, and I disagree in the sense of the backtracking doesn't bother me, but I do hear what you're saying. I think a good Metroidvania, like when you've played this, when you're done a run through Super Metroid, especially if you don't know it off the top of your head, like I don't. I'll go through areas for like the 10th time, the 15th time, and I'm like, I know this. That fucking cave to the left of your ship, right as the game starts, where you run through and you have to go into the ball and drop down in. Everybody knows that fucking cave. Like everybody does. But that almost adds to the game because it's like, oh, I remember this part. Like I've been here before. I know this. And I feel like the game is designed around expecting you to learn that map and learn those areas because that's the only way you're going to know where to go to look for the next path you need to find. If that makes sense.
No, I agree. And I'm glad that they did that and they had the memorable environments and stuff, which they kind of lacked in the first two games. But then somebody's like, you know what we should do to add on top of that? Let's just put a map in just in case. Because people are going to get lost. So
which was necessary. That map is fucking necessary. Oh my God. Yeah. I go to that. And that's another thing I love about this game is you have the map of the area you've been in with the pink squares. You all know what I'm talking about. But I love that in every area. I think it's in every area. You can find that one room where Samus can stick her fist in there and then she fucking I didn't mean it that way, but like Samus can like stick her, like put it or hook it up to her gun. And then she gets like, I like that she gets the whole map, excuse me, the whole map like implemented in her brain or whatever the fuck in her suit. But even then, it's still not the whole map. Like there's still secret rooms to go find and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My son was playing through and he's like, is this the whole map? I was like, no, there's a bunch of stuff that's not on there.
Oh dude, it's crazy. I thought I had a really good run on this run where I just beat the game. I was like, dude, I gotta be 90+% completion. And I got to the end and like, you know how at the end it shows you your time and how much of the stuff you found. And I think it was at like 74%. I was like, what in the fuck? So then I reload my file and I look at the map and I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I have been in every room here. Like, what in the fuck have I missed? And then I Google like a completionist map just to see. And there's so many rooms I never even found. It's fucking wild. Like the amount of, and like, oh, it's just, I don't know if I've ever had a session of Super Metroid where I don't find something.
Yeah, and it's like And even it's not sometimes it's not even extra rooms. It's just stuff in rooms you've already been and didn't realize it was there.
Yeah. I will say, very minor thing. I kind of wish the white dots that tell you an item is there would go away once you found the item.
I agree.
Just because, like, one of my favorite things about Metroidvanias is when you're in the end game and you're all powerful and you've got all the abilities, and I just want to go back and do like a clean sweep and like get everything I missed. And you could do that in Super Metroid, but it's a little tricky because there's white dots everywhere. But all those are is telling you there's a power up in that room, and you may have found most of them already. And then you're trying to remember which ones have you found. It's a minor thing. But I'm just saying.
And there's some rooms that have 2 and 3 power-ups in them.
Yeah.
The same damn room.
Yeah. And they're not all obvious. Like the obvious ones
Nope.
are the ones that are sitting on the platforms or in the fucking hands of those fucking statue things or whatever the fuck. But there's tons in just like energy tanks in like a ceiling where you shoot a tile and it's like, hey,
Yep.
here's a giddy up, you know? And it's so again, like the game really encourages you. And I guess that's the only way. Like, listen, I'm not throwing shade at people that don't like this game because I don't like some very popular games. And yeah, Dan hates you. Yeah. But like, you know, I get yelled at because I don't like Metal Gear Solid, and I get yelled at because I don't like fucking Sonic Adventure 2 and blah, 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 blah. So I get it. But I just like the only thing about Super Metroid that I can see not liking is that you are, especially in your first couple of playthroughs, like you are going to get lost and you are going to do a lot of backtracking. And you either like that or you don't. I do. Because I love going back to, dude, is there any better feeling in Metroidvanias than getting a new ability and being like, oh, and instantly you're thinking about all the places you could go back to with this new ability and fucking get to new areas and stuff.
It's so liberating.
Isn't it? That's the best feeling of the game. Like, especially right out of the gate, there's like the blue doors, the pink doors, the green doors, the yellow doors. And then you get like, and you're like, I can't open any of them. And then you can open like, you get the missiles and now you can open the pink doors. And then you get the super missiles and now you can open the green doors. Then you get the super bombs and now you can open the yellow doors. And then add in, now I have the grappling hooks. So now all those areas that had those hooks above me on the wall, on the ceiling, now I can get over there. The dash, God, fuck me. The dash changes the world.
So good. It's so good.
Oh, that dash, the number of places where I would get stuck and I would see those arrow blocks. And I remember it on my first playthrough. And I was like, what in the fuck are these arrow blocks? Because they're everywhere. And I was like, how do I get past them? And then I finally found the turbo boots. Oh, because that's another thing. Maybe the instruction manual tells you. The game doesn't tell you that you can hold B to run.
Nope. Oh. Go ahead, finish.
No, to me, I feel like I'll hear the argument that like, dude, is it your first video game? You hold B to run in every game. Fair enough. But it really doesn't feel like you do in this one until you do it.
Okay, so I change the control scheme every time I play.
That's something I wanted to ask you about. What do you do?
I run Mega Man X style. I run Y shoots, B jumps, A runs.
Oh.
Every fucking time without fail. And I'm like, I see in the original, when I first played the game, I was like, X, why X? I was like, I'm going to change this because this is more familiar and I've always used it.
Yeah, we were talking about that when I was streaming the game. Because we had a couple of diehards in the stream that were talking about it. And yeah, it's an odd, I can't, like, off the top of my head, I can't remember the control layout, but it is kind of awkward. It just doesn't feel right. Like something.
Is it like X, A jumps, B runs?
Something like, yeah, I'd be lying if I said I could remember how it all works, but it just, cause like, it feels like in every game, like the controls are the same. And in this one, it doesn't, it feels like it's just different. And it's just, it's weird. Yeah.
That was one thing I wanted to bring up too. Cause I was like, I wonder how many people changed this. It's like the people who changed the controls on Mega Man X, but they're just savages.
Yeah. I know. I'm a freak. I'll play Mega Man X. Like I play it OG. I don't fuck with my controls. I
got
like
the hook finger, baby.
Yeah, the hook finger. Yeah. But that's another tip to anyone that listens to this and then decides I've never played Super Metroid. I'm going to give it a shot. For the love of God, just know you can run, because there's one part before you get like the super run or whatever it's called, the dash boots, whatever the fuck they are, where you have to like run across those bricks that fade as quick as you step on them. And it's like a really narrow top with spikes above you and then bad guys underneath. And if you just try to walk through, you will fall through the ground and have to go back and jump up and try it again. And I got stuck there for so long. And then finally, I hate when my chat holds my hand when I'm playing a game. But finally, somebody was like, "Dude, I can't. I have to tell you, don't forget that you can run." And I was just like, "Oh, for fuck's sakes!" Because I don't know why. I was like, I've played as many games as anyone I know, and I don't know why I never figured out you could run in this fucking game. I don't know, because it just felt like I couldn't. I just, in my head, that was as fast as she would go until I got those dash boots.
Well,
And,
but even then, like a lot of the newer Metroids, like Fusion and Zero Mission, you just run and it starts automatically. Like it doesn't. There's not a button for it.
Ah,
So I don't know.
fuck.
Maybe that's it.
I felt so fucking stupid. But those two, yeah. So you get a hold of that. Like every ability you get just opens up so many new areas. And one of the comments I read online that was really accurate was when I got stuck, I was trying to figure out, like, I was like, what am I missing? And I was trying to find like a hint without reading the solution. And a lot of people in the chat were like, every time you get a new ability, they're like, you probably, like, you need it somewhere around there. So if you've gotten a new ability and then gone to the way other end of the map and not been able to find anything since you got that ability, go back to where you got that ability, and there's probably and doing a replay of it and kind of not getting lost at all. Like, they're kind of right. It's a really well designed game, but you can very easily go way off the road and you're fucked.
Well, I agree to that to some extent, but when you start your Brinstar Norfair trip, like that's where like I kind of disagree, because you fall down after you beat Spore Spawn, the giant plant. So you fall down Red Tower.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you go down there, and then you go, I got to get the high jump boots, and then you get the high jump boots, and then you kill Kraid, and which gives you the Varia suit. Then you got to go down there to get what? Hold on, I'm trying to think. What do you get after the Varia suit? You get
I don't remember.
speed boost.
Okay.
No. Yeah, you get speed boost. So you could go get so you can go get ice. Then you get ice, and you go back up the tower to get super bombs, then back down to Norfair to use super bombs to go kill. So you could go down and get the grapple beam, and then you go back up to the ship.
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, point taken. It was more like, I mean, you're right. I guess I didn't word it. Like, basically what they were saying was just like, if you're really stuck, like if you're like, you're like, I have explored this, which I got to, I have explored this entire fucking map, and I have no idea, like, what door have I not fucking tried? What wall have I not fucking tried? They were like, if you ever find yourself stuck like that, go back to where you got your last power up and then kind of work out from there. Because they're like,
that makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like, I should have, maybe I worded it that, because I agree with you. Because because on that note, I agree with you. There are times in this game where like it's going to expect you to fucking take a little bit of initiative and go to a new area. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the game kind of expects you to, like, you remember when you first go into like the rooms with all the heat and you're taking a ton of damage, like, it's expecting that, like, once you have the suit that can handle it, we're expecting that you remember, because nobody missed that door. Everybody walked through that door when they got to that area and was getting killed and was like, well, fuck this place. So the game is like, so it's a really clever design, because the game's like, we're not going to tell you to go back there, but like, remember that room? Maybe go back there now. It's quite ingenious the way that it doesn't hold your hand while also still kind of trying to push you in the direction you need to go.
Yeah, and it's prior to like checkpoints or tutorials, like, hey, you should probably go this way, you should probably do this thing. It's back when games used to teach you by playing the game.
Yeah. And like, I've been replaying Hollow Knight the last couple of nights or months, excuse me, which is, in my opinion, like, Metroid Dread is probably my favorite Metroidvania, but Hollow Knight is right there. Like, I love Hollow Knight. But Hollow Knight, you'll get an ability in Hollow Knight, and then you're like, now what do I do with this ability? And they're like, fuck if I know, go figure it out. Like, and I don't feel like Super Metroid throws you to the wolves quite that badly. It's like, you'll find your way,
I'm a little bit jaded, and this is for like, I'm gonna kind of take the reins from you here for a second, Adam.
No, please.
For anybody legit like playing this for the first time, like, I'm jaded as fuck. I'm not a speedrunner by any means, but I would just say the last time I played this game, I got a 63%. This is literally just a couple days ago. 63% item collection, and I beat it in an hour and 38 minutes.
Jesus fuck.
So like but this is my favorite game. So like if I
fair
say
enough.
like when I say I'm like, hey, this then you got to do this, blah blah. Like take it with a grain of salt coming from me. Like I know what I'm talking about, but like I don't have to look anymore. I don't have to explore. I
I get
know
that.
where to go.
Yeah, I get that. It's
Just to give some context.
like you will like if you don't know this game, like you will get lost at times.
Yeah, take your time. It's no rush.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, like if you've never played it before, when you get into that fucking water area with the sand, I'm just like you are. If ever there's if I'm wrong, man, you please tell me. If ever there's an area where you're probably gonna be like, I gotta look something up, I don't fucking know. That's probably it. That was it for me.
Yeah, because you're gonna go in there. Because usually the way I go through is after I get the gravity suit or the magic pancakes, you go through the back of the rack spaceship to the Forgotten Highway, which takes you down into this northern part of Meridia. And then I take the tube down to the bottom. But I always end up in that fucking sand pit area with those baby dragos.
Yeah, and I
that
can't
go in there. And what about did you get to the room where you fell into the sand and then it sucks you down into another room completely filled with sand and then down to another one?
Yeah. Dude, can I ask you that? Because I don't know if you're going to know. There's one of those rooms where you get pulled down into the sand and then you have like it's almost like an auto scrolling room where you just have to like sink to the bottom and then you come out in another room. There's one of those rooms where at the top of the room, there's like an energy tank and it's in a whole bunch of like narrow little caverns. And it's right up at the top, and there's like falling boulders in there. Do you know what room I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I must have tried for half an hour. I have no idea how to get that energy tank. I tried so hard.
Did you ever get the spring ball?
I don't think I did.
So
that would explain how. Like,
so
can you jump with like in ball form with it?
Yeah, you're ball form and you leap.
No, I don't think I ever got that. That must have been optional.
Yeah, well, it is. And there's I think it's standard issue in a lot of newer Metroid games. Like if you get the high jump boots, you just kind of get it, or it's just kind of integrated into the ball in some way or form, shape, or form. If I remember correctly, it's in Meridia, and it's kind of hidden, like it's way the fuck out of the way. But I can't recall the last time I've done a 100% run to go through that room, but I have done it in the past. Most of the stuff I get is like it's on the way. Like I don't go very far out of the way, but no, that's. Yeah, it's been a while.
I was gonna because like if I don't get a missile power up or whatever, I'm like, whatever. I have tons of missiles. I don't fucking care. But the energy tanks, like I was like, I'm not very good. I need all the health I could get, and I could see this fucking, and I'm like, because there's the multiple parts in this game where you need to do the like, I don't know what you call it, like the juggling, where you drop the little bombs and kind of bounce yourself up like in ball form and shit. And so that's what I was trying to do to get up there. And I went back, like I had screw attack, I had everything, and I could not find my way up to this fucking E-tank. And I finally gave up. And I said it to myself. I was like on the episode, I'm gonna fucking ask, because I was like, that fucking E-tank is gonna haunt me in my fucking dreams until I figure out. So I missed it. All right. Well, at least I know that I couldn't get it. It wasn't all right. Okay, fuck you.
Yeah, no, it's doable if I'm remembering the room. Like obviously all of them are, but
sure.
It's just one of those trial and error things, like always.
Fuck. What's your favorite boss fight?
I'll
buy you time to think.
No, go ahead, please.
I don't know any of the names other than Ripley, so don't yell at me. But there's like that fat red dragon that is crawling towards you with the spike wall behind you, and you need to bomb that red dragon back onto the bridge that collapses underneath it. So it falls into like the acid or the lava or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. I just think that is such a cool fight.
You son of a bitch.
Is that yours too?
No, that's one of them. It is. It was, it used to be, I would say it used to be the guy, I'm just letting you know the name because it's fine. You don't know. Not everybody knows. That's Crocomire.
Oh, classic Crocomire.
Yeah, I watched my son do that. He was struggling. So I was like, how do I get him to go back? I was like, shoot more than one missile for the love of God when his mouth's open. Anyway.
Well, hey, if it makes your son feel better, tell him I died there too. That's fine. I was just like, because like a lot of the bosses, you need to shoot them. Like usually it's like when they open their mouths or whatever the fuck. But I kept like all my shots kept getting blocked. Like I couldn't get a missile through to save my fucking life. I was getting so fucking angry. Gosh.
Yep.
Oh God. I hate video games. Anyway,
No,
sorry. Continue.
no, that's fair because it's one of those things you do with other people. You like just do this. It's easy, and then like the back of your mind, like dumbass, you've done this a million
I
times.
know.
This
I
is the
feel
first time they've done it, and you're like,
Shaylee and I don't play a lot of video games together because like I'm never condescending, but like she'll get stuck at something in Mario, and I'm like, you just got to jump on the guy, and she's like, I am jumping on the guy, and I'm like, yeah, but you got to. But
Jump
you're right.
better.
It's like it's muscle memory to me, right? Like I get it, So
no, and so yes, Crockemeyer for sure is a guaranteed. And I used to think it was Drago where he grabs onto you and you shoot the thing into the electric socket on the wall and you electrocute him.
yeah.
And then but I think now that I've watched the further I've got, it's the Ridley fight. Only if you beat him with the claw grab technique.
Now what?
Okay, so
what?
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
I don't remember. I don't think I did that.
So you'll under the video I sent you kind of does a little bit in that last release.
Yeah.
So how Ridley is programmed is once he hits 0 health, and then he'll dive at you at about 8, 9, 10 times, and once he fails on the final time to grab you, he automatically dies. He literally is at 0 life. You keep shooting him, it doesn't act any different. But in his internal program, he does it.
I'm trying to remember. That's the fight where you're standing on like that platform with the edges where you could fall down into the lava or whatever, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But
go ahead.
if his life is 0 and he's trying to do those dives and you jump into his claw and you let him grab you, he automatically blows up.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, it's a thing I never knew until I started watching speedrunners do it, and like I just gun to try to do it just because I think it's cool.
Because I watched that video you sent me, that cartoon, and they were like, oh, that was like they said something like that there, and I didn't get what they were saying, but
yeah, I guess that's kind of the thing. But yeah, I didn't realize I actually learned about that programming like literally 3 days ago. So he was like, no, dude, I was watching a video like a speedrunner because my son and I watched those, and he was like, yeah, he's programmed to do this, and then he automatically dies if he fails in the final time, or you jump into his claws when his life's at 0, and he dies.
Oh shit, I did not know that. Wow.
But yeah, it'd probably be those two for sure. Crocomeyer's great, dude.
I like the fat green lizard guy too. That shoots like out of his belly button. Yeah, like not a hard fight, but very cool looking.
If you don't know, like he can mess you up though, like especially like once he gets all big and he's moving back and forth and there's like a million things flying around on screen.
Yeah, it's a cool looking boss.
He's
fight
fun
for sure. Yeah, and then obviously like at the end game where you get through it, it's what is it, Mother Brain? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Mother Brain. Yep. That's a classic.
Yeah, because you have to like you like shoot it, like break the glass case that it's in or whatever the fuck again, and then it goes down and it gets on like I know for you diehard fans, I'm butchering all the names and terms. I don't know what I'm talking about, but like the brain goes down and gets on that like fucking big alien body thing, and then you fight it, and then the ending of this fucking game. I had forgotten how it ended when you're fighting that fucking mother brain thing or whatever the fuck, and then the Metroid comes in. And it like heals you and like helps you, and it's like the coolest shit in the world.
When I was a kid, you didn't see that shit in games like that. Fucking my mind.
Yeah, and again, if I'm talking out of my ass, by all means tell me. But like, because because that Metroid looks at Samus as like its mom, right?
Yep. Because that was the first one. Yep.
Because that's so that it like helps you and it gives you like the hyper beast. Oh my god, how much of a beast are you at the end of that game running through with the fucking? Oh my god, with that I wish there was like a new game plus mode or something where you could just get a hold of the hyper beam and just play through the regular game with it and just go like scorched earth on everybody. Because even that escape sequence where like the whole place is about to self-destruct and you're like rushing to get back up to the surface and get in your ship. It's such a like, it's really not particularly hard to get out before it to self-destructs, but it does a great job of like setting that tone and making it feel like shit's hitting the fan. Let's get the fuck out of here. Then you get back up to the surface and you lose that claustrophobic feeling, and then you get in your ship. Oh my god, it's such a great ending. Oh, what a game! Fuck me.
I say this question about the ending. This is important for two things, and again, this is referencing that video, and I'll tell everybody the video we're talking about. If you've never watched it, I have no affiliation with this channel. I just think their work is fucking hilarious. It's called something about Super Metroid. It's just an animated thing, and they keep it mostly clean, but it's It's funny. They're just
Really
animations
well
are
done.
hilarious.
Yeah, I watched it
It's
right before this recording. It's really well done.
If you get bored, go look into some of the older ones, like Donkey Kong Country, Typing of the Dead, Super Mario World. The Super Mario World one you will love, I assure you. They're hilarious. Anyway, right when Mother Brain started, the fight started, because my kids have all watched these. So the moment the fight starts, like me and my son just yell at the top of our lungs, chicken strips. Because that's when that video is like, chicken strips. Anyway, so I had a goal to that story. I just had a 40-year-old moment almost, and I'm like, I don't remember where I was going with that, but
I
chicken
hate
strips.
that. I hate that.
I do. It literally just hit me. I'm like, fuck.
Well,
I'll remember it later.
I was talking about the escape sequence at the end of the game and how awesome it is.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Did you save the animals?
No.
Don't. It's not worth it. Save the frames. Fuck the animals. They're not worth it.
How? What do you? I knew of this, but I've never done it. So what is like? Because it's the ones that like teach you how to wall jump and stuff, right?
Yes. Yeah. So what you do is, when you're leaving, so you're all the way out. You're all the way out of the area Torian, and the self-destruct sequence is going, and you go up that real long tower where you got to jump on the little purple platforms.
Sure. Yeah.
And you go out the door, and then just as you're about to run out to where your ship is, you run over the area where you got bombs, right?
Yes.
Go down there. Go down into the room where, if you got time, you go down there where the bombs are at, run all the way over, and you'll see the animals in the same room. You got the bombs. You shoot the wall on the bottom in the opposite corner you came in, and then they'll all run out, and then you go back up, get in your ship, take off.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and you get like one tiny pixel where you see the ship, the plane explodes, you see you flying at it, and you see like a little pixel like fly off the other direction. And then that's the animals, which is the canon ending, because that's there, of course, in Metroid Fusion. But yeah,
that's fucking just, and that's like, as we kind of start to bring this plane for a landing, like that's what we're talking about. Like that's the shit where it's just, dude, you and I are about the same age. We grew up in the NES, Super Nintendo, Genesis era. Like there was what percentage of games from that era? Like I think 50% of the games from NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo are crap. 50% are crap. And then there's another 10 to 15% that are like kind of crap. But like there's enough there that you're like, oh, whatever, it was my weekend, that's what I played. And then there's some really good games. And then there's the special games. And those special games are the ones that just there's so much replay value. Like Super Mario World. Once I knew where top secret area, the only thing I couldn't find in Super Mario World until the internet was Soda Lake. The one where you jump.
Yeah.
I never did find that. I could never find that one. But like I know that. And same as like Link to the Past is great, and there's a lot to find in there. But like Super Metroid, different pass, your percentage of how much you got, how fast like the other games aren't giving you timers, like how fast you beat it, this little secret stuff like that. It's just I can't, did I just not talk to anybody that fucking knew the greatness of this game? Daniel, not you. Even Daniel, my one friend who's like the biggest Metroid fan I know, like he didn't even talk about this that much as a kid. Like he brought it up, but like I play this now and I'm just like, where the fuck was everybody?
Hey, dude, Daniel, first off, you dropped the ball. I don't know how old you are, but I'm just going to assume you stole my name. Secondly, I agree with you, dude. Like, I don't know why nobody talked about this. Like, you know, when you're a kid and you're thinking like, hey, I want to make my own video game, right? Because you have that. I'm assuming everybody had that aspiration. When I was a kid, I had a vision of a video game that was literally going to be designed like Super Metroid, same 2D Metroidvania before that was even a term, and it was going to be like, have you ever heard of the movie? You may not have, because I know you're not a big movie guy, but it's called Fantastic Voyage.
No.
Okay, so the premise of the movie is they shrink down. The president is dying or something like that. And they shrink them down a submarine and they inject them inside the president to save him from some disease or something like that. And I wanted to make a game like Metroid, but you're inside the body of another human trying to save them.
That'd be pretty sick, actually.
I've had that dream like since I was a kid. Since the first time I played Super Metroid, like I was like, I want to do this. I just thought it'd be a cool idea. So somebody steal that idea and make it happen, please, because I'll never do it. But
I like that. I like that a lot.
But nothing
I,
did this. Like,
I
there's no games like this
no, I'm
at the
looking right
time.
now. I just brought up the list of the best-selling Super Nintendo games of all time. Super Metroid is number 34.
That's higher than I thought.
Yeah, but like it's 1.4 million sold. And to give you an idea, like number 10 is Star Fox, 4 million sold.
Dude, listen.
And,
I like Star Fox, but it ain't Metroid
no,
good.
I fucking hate Star Fox. And I'm like it doesn't belong. But like it's just I don't know. If this is your first episode of the show, don't be like, this fucking idiot doesn't know what he's talking about. He barely even knows Super Metroid. Because like I don't know what I'm talking about, but like I do know the Super Nintendo. I really do know the Super Nintendo. And this was one that just went under my radar. And I if I could be honest, like I think the I can think of three different franchises that I have become such big fans of over the last like 10 or 15 years. And one is Fire Emblem, because I finally played my first Fire Emblem game with Awakening and then fell in love, and now I love that. I love those games. Resident Evil. I only ever played Resident Evil 4 and 5 before this podcast, and now I've played almost all of them, and I adore Resident Evil. And then Metroid.
Same.
Metroid, because before this podcast, the only one I'd beaten was Super Metroid on my Wii. That was it. And now, like, go back in the archives, you guys. Like, I've reviewed Metroid Dread, or Dread on Expansion Pass, Metroid Prime, Super Metroid, Metroid on the NES, Metroid 2, Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, and I didn't love the NES Metroid, but like, I love these games are fucking, they're fucking spectacular. I'm ashamed of myself that when I think of like the Mount Rushmore of the Super Nintendo, I'm ashamed to say that like Super Metroid doesn't enter my mind because I don't have the nostalgic ties to it. And replaying it to get ready for this show, I'm just like, dude, this is every ounce as good as Super Mario World, Link to the Past, Donkey Kong Country. Like it is a masterpiece. There's no other words to describe it. It's a masterpiece.
No, I agree. Like you just didn't get this, like we talked about before. When you first start playing Super Metroid, and albeit most of the time it is, you think it's gonna be like every other game, but you have the bombastic entrance in beginning sequence on Sarah's station, and you have the Ridley fight, and it's that awesome scripting, and the thing blows up, and then you have scenes like Crocomire melting in the lava. That shit doesn't happen. You got the stuff with the baby. You got the stuff with Mother Brain, that final fight. It just seemed like this was like a precursor to like future generations of games, like how you would have those cut scenes and those scripted moments that just didn't exist in games at that time.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I agree. It was ahead of its time. It really was ahead of its time. And you know what? Like I'm glad to see, like, Earthbound is a game that's very near and dear to my heart, and I love that Earthbound is getting its flowers now. And people are like, dude, Earthbound's a fucking great game, because I agree. I think Earthbound is an absolute masterpiece. But I'm glad that despite it not selling and being as promoted as Mario and Zelda and Donkey Kong, I'm glad that this isn't a cult classic. Like, this isn't one of those ones that now people are discovering for the first time. This is one of those ones where, like, you're either one of the smart kids that just knew that Super Metroid was a masterpiece, or you were one of the dunces like me that just never played it, and now you've learned your lesson. It can go toe to toe with literally any game on the Super Nintendo. And for those of you that know my feelings on Super Nintendo, that is as high as praise as I could possibly give this fucking game. Did we miss anything? Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
One quick thing. I don't even know if these are in the instruction book. I don't have a manual for my game, but do you know about the hidden moves in the game?
I don't think so.
Okay, so you know about if you have the charge beam set and you charge it up and you roll into a ball and you spit out like 5 bombs at a time?
Yes.
Okay. So do you know if you have super bombs, and you have the charge beam, and let's just say any one of the other beams equipped, not all of them, just charge and one beam, and you charge up your gun, roll into the and it will actually automatically activate a special ability?
No.
So, like, let's just use the wave beam for example. They call it like the X factor. So if you have wave and charge, you got set it on the bomb, charge it all the way up, 4 purple energy balls will come out and start circling around your character for a certain amount of time until they hit something or they just fly away. And depending on what beam you have, it varies.
No shit. I did not know that. No.
Well, here's another one I'm gonna throw you for a loop for it. Do you know what a crystal flash is?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if you have 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, at least 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, and 10 power bombs, and you're
Okay.
below 30 health, I think it's you charge your beam up with the super bomb set, and either does it automatically or you roll into a ball. And if I'm wrong, the chat will tell me. Samus will turn into a glistening orb, and you'll see the silhouette of her outside of the suit inside of it, and it will fully fill up your life.
No shit.
Yep, reserve tanks and all.
Holy fuck. I didn't know
Yep.
any. I don't know anything.
Wild. Dude, this is shit I didn't know about till way after the fact.
That's crazy.
Dude, there's so
like,
much.
how do you hide stuff like that? Imagine if,
Dude.
like, imagine playing Super Mario World and then, like after you beat the game, if I'm like, yo, did you find the green dinosaur you could ride? You're like, what? Yeah, like, that's what I feel like right now. Like, I didn't know.
Well, there's like slews of other tech. Like there's like mock balls, which is a way to like run and turn into a morph ball, and it maintains your run speed.
Oh shit!
While you're a ball, and then there's one of the one is Moondrop. It's where you know the moonwalk ability that nobody uses in this game.
No, you can moonwalk in this game.
Yeah, if you go to your options, so when you start up a game, like load your game up, you'll have like the controls and like the extra ones. There's a moonwalk, which allows you to moonwalk while you're charging, so you can charge your beam and move backwards away. I never use it.
No, I didn't know that either. I don't know anything. But Jesus Christ.
But I don't know how to do this stuff. This is just stuff I know of. And you could do that when you're and like do that right as you're falling, or do that then fall, and it maintains your energy, like your speed, and you just fucking drop like a rock. Speedrunners use it to get through those tall hallway sections, like really tall buildings. Yeah, just weird shit that's in the game.
This is one. So I don't watch. I have a lot of respect for speedrunners, but the only speedruns I really give any real time to are like Mario, like those types of ones. Like I tried watching a speedrun of Earthbound, and I had to turn it off just because it was making me feel like I suck at the game. Because I have to like grind to beat some bosses, and this guy's like, no, we got to get to the boss as fast as possible. And I was like, how the fuck are you gonna beat? And then they're doing it. I was like, man, I suck. But now that I've done practically 2 playthroughs of Super Metroid in the last like 3 weeks, I kind of want to watch a couple of speedruns and just see, because I can't even imagine some of the shit that's done in this game.
One guy recommends Oats and Goats. I think he's the current speedrun record holder for like any percent. But the big gaming speedrunning thing they do, Games Done Quick. You know, I'm sure you've probably heard of them in the peripheries.
Yeah.
So almost every event, they always do a Super Metroid. It's always Friday. It's always Friday or Saturday night. It's one of the biggest ones they do. It's the best fucking way to watch it because the whole crowd gets into it. It's so good.
Oh man,
I try to watch it every year when they do it, or twice a year.
Yeah, I have to. I've really I've grown to respect speedrunners a lot. I get asked that a lot. Like, yo, would you ever try speedrunning a game? And I'm like, I don't know if I've got the patience, man. That's a different beast, speedrunning.
I worry about it ruining a game for me, though.
Me too. I feel like I'd never want to go back to that game again. But I wouldn't want to learn to speedrun a game unless I already liked it, because otherwise I'm going to keep playing a game I hate.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm like, it's either Super Metroid or Mega Man 2, and I don't want to fuck either of those up.
Yeah. I'm never going to be that good anyway, so I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Man, this was fun. How are we gonna score this fucking thing?
I got one if you need it.
Please.
There's 14 E-tanks and 4 reserve tanks, so 18.
All right. I like that. You're the guest. Please eat first. What would you score?
I would 100,000,000% give this 18 out of 18 for obvious reasons we've stated today. I'll mention briefly my youngest son, my middle child. His name is Ridley.
That's
Ridley Aaron. So for those of you that don't know, Aaron or Ron is Samus's last name. And he's also my other Metroid guy. But I love this game to death. This is like definitively been my best game of all time for decades. Like, this is the one. Like, every year I play it, sometimes twice. It just does it for me. It ticks all the boxes.
I love it. I'm making a promise to the gaming world right now that like I play through Super Mario World a couple times a year. I do X every year. I have like my OGs. I'm gonna start doing Super Metroid more. I need to get better. So I'm gonna start making it like an annual playthrough, so I don't keep getting lost in that fucking water area. So
It still gets me, dude.
Fuck, it makes you so mad. So we're going out of 18. I know I said it's every bit as good as all the other ones, but if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, loyal listener, we have the Super Mario World tags. And that's just so I'm not even going to take a full point off. I'm going to take a half a point. I'm going to go 17.5, and I'm going to take off 0.25 for the Super Mario World tax, and I'm going to take off 0.25 for my inability to wall jump well. And you can argue that it's not the game.
Fair.
It's not the game's fault. It's my fault. It's my show. So when Super Metroid reviews Adam Blank, they can take off as many points as they want to. I'm taking off half a point. So
it's kind of the game's fault.
Yeah, but it's like it's a must play. If you're listening to this and you have not played Super Metroid, the only way I would not recommend you go and play it would be if you just detest the Metroidvania genre. Because if you do, this game is like the grandmother of Metroidvanias. You're not gonna like it. But if you have no particular ill will toward the genre, you will like this game. I can't imagine you wouldn't.
No.
So, Dan, when you're not talking games with me or apparently playing Super Metroid, you host other things. What else do you do?
I am the distant third co-host of a podcast called Dissect That Film. We talk about movies. We do not review them. Dissect That Film is just a great fancy name. We literally just sit there and BS about them. It's hosted by Parker. He's the main guy. He's the ringleader. My wife's the straight person. And then I just make crudely inappropriate jokes to try to get 1-star reviews.
Perfect. If I have some of those I can lend you if you fucking need some.
Dude,
I have lots of.
I gunned so hard for it. I've got one for sure that is my doing, and one other one that was a guest's, and I was like, damn it. I try. I don't want to do because I don't want to be like I mean, let's be honest. If I really wanted to, I could do a lot of things that would get us there.
Sure.
But within the realms where I'm skirting that line, it takes some effort.
Yeah. I get that. Well, you know what you got to do? You got to fucking just go online and say Donkey Kong 64 sucks, and you'll get some fucking 1-star reviews. You'll get some 1-star reviews. Trust me.
Listen, guys. Anybody on here, go find us. Dissect That Film. 1-star review does not like Donkey Kong 64.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, also, yeah. There'll be a link in the description of this episode, everybody. Buddy, always great chatting with you, Dan. Thanks so much for doing this, and we'll do it again soon.
Very honored to be here. Thank you, sir.
That is going to do it for this week's episode. Dan, thank you so much for giving me a shout and talking a little Super Metroid. And every single one of you nerds listening to this, whether it was your first Remember the Game or your 345th, thank you so much for rolling the dice on us and taking a chance. I know there's a lot of retro gaming shows out there, and then you picked ours. Well, that melts my heart like warm, warm butter. Sweet, buttery goodness. Thank you all so much for the support. Really, I appreciate it. If you like the show, leave us a good review. That'd be awesome. I don't know what they accomplished, but I'm supposed to ask for them, and I do read them. And I rented Fiddler on the Roof, and I will watch it. I do read your reviews, and they make me feel good, except the bad ones. They make me feel bad, but the good ones outnumber the bad ones so much that the bad ones can go fuck themselves. Also, check out Dan's show, Dissect That Film. There'll be a link in the description of this podcast, assuming he sent it to me, which I think he did. And I don't know. Yeah, check out our Patreon. It's $3. And you get access to about 300 expansion passes and about 240 game patches, plus 345 Remember the Games without ads. And if you go up to $5, then you'll also get access to 112 or 13 Purple Monkey Dishwashers, our Simpsons show, and a couple hundred Rambling Idiots, where I talk about whatever I want as well. It's pretty well the best deal in the history of the universe, all right? I am going to thank some of those Patreons and get out of here, as I'm contractually obligated to do. Thank you all for listening. If you are a Patreon, come back tomorrow for Expansion Pass 270. The topic was up to the community, and the worst gaming gifts we've ever received came out on top, so that's what we'll be talking about. The Rambling Idiot on Friday, I'll be breaking down AEW Forbidden Door and talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. And next week, we're back with a whole other slab of podcasts, including, but not limited to, Remember the Game 346, with All the Stars Aligned will be about Mutant League Football for the Sega Genesis. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers. Remember the Game is brought to you by our Patreons. I couldn't puke up all the content I churn out every week without all of your support. The following people are the senior executive vice president level or higher at patreon.com/rememberthegame, and as such, I am contractually obligated to say their names as quickly as possible. So we'll go in order from newest to oldest this week. A huge thank you to Remember the Game Hall of Famer, Slick Motherfucking Rick, George Swan, Did It All for the Wookiee, Sick Jake, Redline Aero Drones, Jonathan Breyer, Lindsay Lee, Raph is my favorite turtle, not Donnie, Handsome Major Angus McZongo Esquire, Tyler Patchell, Raging Randy, Siegfried, Landon Turquoise, the okayest of muffins, Frank Preeves, Profound, Spooky Dookie, Just James, Exotic Chaotic, Trooper Galactus, Cannon Fodder Games, Devin Collins, Shane's World, Mikey Hag, Bot Fokker, Steaming Wooly, Fancy Store-Bought Dirt, Game Boy Gannon, Jeff Leopard, Horror Wars Podcast, Akiris Network, Jinxie425, Legendberry, Thunder Leaps, Topher Love, Doogie Bowser MD, Captain Asberry Juice, Erotic Onion Ring, Flater Flav, Lord Salazar, Travis Sanders, MacGyver88, The Grim Patron, Savage Boosh, Super Cyan, Safarioth, Desiraith, Wrecked Ralpy, Conebread, Super Jess, VOS Rager, Wilco, McCracken, Justin Blair, Diablo Spartan, Moncal, David Schroeder, Gannon's Magnum Dong, Generic Name 238, Darbles, Eric Hopewell, Spider Cat, Alex McIntyre, Scotty McGee, Toby OP, Thrill Ho, Daddy Secret Little Chubby, Justin Tate, Ryan Whitcomb, Ida Yellow, Big Daddy Randall, Mr. Jabroni, Chaz Hammond, Put It in Age, Kevin Kellums, Cody Thompson, Liquor Like Luigi, Fill Up My Mouth with Farts, Cesar, my computer froze. Buy me a second here. Mopey36, Too Much Karma, Matt Zeus, Bula, Nintendo's Before Hose. Nice. Brian Richmond, Robbie Air, Jay Callahan, More Like Frosty Feet, Ford 90 Poo. Haha, fucking got his ass. Shoeboxers, Mark Sneed, E-Man Trucker. You son of a bitch. Why? Tell me why. The Supreme Chozo Rizu, Fallen Snow Kiku, Penguin Milk, P Money. Chris Hill isn't scared. That could be anyone's ass. Carbon Fiber Zombie, Faded Suffering, Sour Goat Face, Frosty Bear, Lucas Shaman, Roger Staubach's Pool Cleaner, Lord Longrod Von Hugendom the Second, Infinity Rage, Because 19, Beers of War, Lord Palmerston, Leroy Jenkins, Nordak, Pee Wee Squitters, Can't Destroy Her, Kevin Monroe, Ryan 4664, The Big Deal, Adam Martinet, Nick Creature, Postman, Darth Skywalter, Bartman Forever, Zombie Exy, Just Car Prank, Scotty J, Please Refrain from Tasting the Knob, Alex R, Ryan Perry, Ted Explosion, Works for Me, AB Killin, Monstrous the Boner, Kia Pup, Brandon DeZeba, Maverick, T-Bear87, Tadpole, Big the Cat, Zamatos, Christopher Brick, Quiet Place Queen, Beef Dingleberry, My Left Nut, Timothy Sabrinsky, Graham Kennedy, Musty Beetle, Maverick Marty, Christian Gabriel, Timmy the Exuberant Turtle, Hits Meals, Isaiah, Squeak Nut, Sleeper Hit, Donnie the Dude, Walter, Sam Carpenter, Drugs Ben, okay, Mr. Arkansas, John of the Adult Children Podcast, James Juan Francesco, Max Lagroom, I Am the Very Model of a Modern Major General, General Fury, Cody Richardson, Oroku Saki's Gardner, Jimothy, High Plains Drifter, Hyga Waffle, Earl, Archangel Otaku, Storm Beagle, Scary Terry, Blaine the Hoagie Man, Wyatt the Surgeon who's not a surgeon, Row, a dude named Adam, Decoy Man, Fuzzy 99, Gabe, Matt Babineau, Stud, Still Smash, Rush's Dog Walker, Leroy Westrich, Thomas Smith, Beaver Boy, Growly Wog, Laces Out Dan, Jake Carter, Joe the Sandman, Phil Lencher, Tyler Juris, Dr. Mario, Mizuru, Dude Where's My Game, Standard S. Brian, Steve Dulk, DBXJ, Madam Nutsich, Elijah Burns, Chugger22, Triple Three, Captain Black Silver, Zach Shepard, Holmes, Narrow Urethra, I get that. Just a Fish, Randy Barrage, Jeff Bergeron, Titan 420, Dean Donian, Squints, Johnny from Virginia, Wolf Magic 21, Doogie, Andy Hudson, Wolfgang Darren, Mercury 869, G9 PSX, Mike Maloney, Ryan Kinchin, Zane Donovan, Morgan A-Town, JSK Fusick, Aaron Lawson, Scott Brooks, No One Cares, Dave Thompson, Angry Ticks, Lil Bunny Fufu 89, Eldest Millennial, Jordan, Andrew Wright, Chris Fleury, Doug Dorn, Dan of Dissect That Film, Jork King Keegs, Jane Nasty 15, Sharonic. It makes you mellow magic money. That was a pretty good batch of shoutouts. I give that a 9. That gives you something to work for. Take it easy, everybody. Shout out to anyone that gets that reference. Talk to you later. Cheers.